Everybody's doing great, man. I can't complain.
All right, all right. I've got my new headsets on today. I got those the Steel Master series from what's it called? Arctis 3. So they were on sale at Best Buy for they were regular 79, but on Amazon Amazon had them for 49. So I went in there and Best Buy had to hook a brother up.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages, welcome to Hit Stop Craig. I got joined here by my special guest here, the man, the myth, the legend, the man who ran out of ink signing people yesterday to Pony contract. Shout out here to J-Dub City. J-Dub, introduce yourself, brother.
Hey, everybody. It's your boy J-Dub, a.k.a. Kratos, the god of PlayStation and all things gaming. I am back again with Craig. Let's get it.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you being here. It was short notice, but J-Dub always ready to roll. Man's doing good. His family's doing good. He's getting ready for the summer. And so, yeah, let's get right into the big news of the day. The Xbox Always Online, the digital one. Real quick, I'm not going to call it the SAD version, even though it is sad. I just call it the A.D.C, the all-digital console. Well, your thoughts on that? If this happened yesterday too, people seem to have forgotten about this. Well, your thoughts? This would be the Xbox Maverick, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So your thoughts on it being 250 and 1 terabyte?
Well, of course, people should want to forget it, right?
Correct.
When you come out with a system that has less features, less hardware, for more money, anybody's, their attention is gonna kind of be, the red flags are kind of gonna go up. So I don't know what this is for Microsoft. And the sad part about it, we're just finding out today, Craig, is it's the same Xbox One S shell. It has the eject button and everything on it.
Got an eject button for what?
I know they kept it the same. I mean, it's the exact same thing. They just said, I don't know if they stuck a piece of tape over the little slot or melted a piece of plastic, but according to them, the drive slot is still there. It's just covered up, and the eject button is still visible. It's still there. It just doesn't do anything. So this is a crazy. I don't understand what they were doing. The crazy thing about it, Craig, they didn't even put a 2 terabyte, 3 terabyte hard drive in this thing, and they're going to make it all digital.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you, because with the games, and they're constantly adding games. If you have Game Pass or Live, don't you need at least it supports an external hard drive, right? Or can you open it up and put a new one in?
No, you can. It supports external.
Okay,
but if you're gonna sell me a car. Yeah. And then tell me later I have to buy some tires for it. I'm going to look at you kind of funny,
Yeah. This is so you think overall this is a disappointment? Yes, overdone. This is Mass Effect 3 right now. Sony had a Mass Effect yesterday on the entire industry. I had to work yesterday, so when I got home, I'm like, what the hell? What's going on here?
Yeah.
Oh man! But shout out. So, how many contracts did you either extend yesterday or did you offer? And why I got you here? Let me put you on the spot. Did you offer Crap Gamer a contract? And are you officially his agent now, or is he just kind of waiting to see?
No, I finally did it. I finally nabbed the Big Kahuna. That's our nickname for him now. The Pony Crew, the PlayStation Nation is calling him the Big Kahuna.
Okay,
he's the artist formerly known. He's the pony formerly known as the Crap Gamer.
Okay.
So yeah, I was able to get that contract signed, sealed, and delivered yesterday, and so it's official, man. I welcome to the crew and to the team, and greatness awaits.
And shout out to the people here. Savage Jr., what's happening? Triple J, what's going on? Skip Bayless says Xbox One all digital will flop harder than Sega 32X. It very well might, but that's a hard flop. But I remember that thing came out. I'm like, what is this?
Exactly. By the way, Greg, I still have my Sega 32X in the box. It's been open once, but I hadn't took it out the plastic wrap. So
wow.
My original, back from 93, 94. Yeah.
All right, well, guys, that's kind of breaking news, is that the artist formerly known, now he's just the Big Kahuna now.
He's no longer the albino rhino. He is the Big Kahuna.
Okay. So shout out to him. I mean, it's that's craziness. I think that is the I do believe that's it. I mean, that takes care. The only one that's held out from BGST is Tim Dog, and he's eerily silent. I mean, shout out to Tim Dog.
Shout out to Tim Dog. He's one E3 away from putting on a blue shirt himself.
Yeah.
So I think that's very telling of this generation and how it's going. First I nabbed Z. Shout out to Next Gen 720. I nabbed him.
Yeah.
Who else did I got? Now I got Crap. Showstopper. I grabbed him.
Man, I didn't know Showstopper had converted. I didn't know that.
He's converted. If you look at his Twitter handle, we call him Show Pony.
Show Pony now. Well, that's it. That's the end of BGST. Yeah. And well, I don't know about Mooch. But shout out to all those guys. They held it up. Go ahead.
But we don't just offer those type of contracts to just anybody.
Yes.
There's a thorough vetting process, and it has to be approved through, our dear Yoshida's son. We have to get that approval, and but once those Sony checks keep coming in, I'm gonna keep nabbing them.
All right. So, but well, welcome to the Big Kahuna and the rest of them. Yeah, it just seemed like when Musclebound Gamer when he flipped, it's like everybody started flipping. I mean, these guys are flipping more than what's the name of that Takashi 69, whatever the hell they call that kid. So they're down there just rolling on people. So shout out to Jay Barry. What's happening? He said bots are converting, and Kratos, you doing the Lord's work. What's up, Lincoln Clay? What's happening, brother? Shout out to Lincoln Clay, hold it down. So, Lincoln, what happened with your PC? Did you take the Alienware back, or I know you were. All right, go ahead.
So I kept it, and I finally got around to fixing my other rig. So I ended up wiping it out, putting all SSD drives in there. So it's good. It's back up and running. It's good to go. Sometimes you just don't feel like dealing with the PCs and the problems. So I just went out and nabbed me the Alienware and put a couple of my 2080 Ti's in there and changed the power supply out and got back up and running. So now I got two systems that I could use interchangeably. So we're good. I'm back up and running. Plus, I ended up getting me the couple of gaming laptops. One has a 1070 in it, and the other one has a 2070. So I'm good, man. Wherever I go, man, I'm good.
All right, so is it scary? Because I ain't gonna lie, when I was putting in that stuff, I was scared, even though I could see it in my mind. Yeah. And here's this. I mean, I talked myself through. I looked at the steps. I wrote the steps down. I talked myself through the steps. I mocked it, like I was doing it. So, like when you were first starting, is it intimidating, or because I'm now teaching that class on PC bills up at the church. I got a little room, and I got 2 students, and any advice you're willing to give on just the outright nervousness? It's just going to take repetition. What do you think?
Well, when I first started, Craig, just a little story.
Yeah.
when I first got my computer, man, I was like 13 years old. And my dad, you know, he went to Radio Shack, got me A.D.C PC, and it was like 66 megahertz with 8 megabytes of RAM and a 540 megabyte hard drive, and it had a 2-speed CD-ROM. So that was the best thing ever to happen to me in life. So the very next day, this was the summertime, by the way.
Okay.
The very next day, my dad went to work, and he came home for lunchtime at noon. He came home. I had that computer tore apart. I had the motherboard sitting on the floor, the memory out. I had, you know, the processor sitting on the floor, the fans, power supply, everything. It was totally stripped apart. So he walked in the house and he looked, and he shook his head, and you know, he yelled. He said, "This computer better be together by the time I get back from work." And he went back to work. Well, by the time my dad came back home at 5 p.m., the computer was back together. It was running. I was playing on it. He said then he knew that I was going to do something with computers in life. And so, you know, obviously, you know, you know my trade now, but
yes,
that was my first experience on taking a computer apart and putting it back together when I was that young. So throughout different trades and different jobs in a career, I've been able to do them. So after a certain time, after you can do them, you know, you do them for a trade, it's not special anymore. You know exactly what you're doing. It's not. Now I'm at that point where I'd rather not do it. I'd rather just go ahead and buy pre-built and move on and stuff like that. But for the guys that's just starting off, you know, guys like you and everybody else, they get to put the cool lights in there and get to learn. You know, it's good. That's a very good thing to do. You always want to learn.
Yeah, the lighting is that is neat. I mean, I always saw that, and I was like, well, man, I wonder if I'll ever be able to get to something like that. And now that I've got it, I was very shocked. I just love it. You know, before I go to work in the morning, the house is dark and it's all, and I turn the PC on just so I can see that, because I don't put it in, you know, because when I leave, I turn my PC off, just in case there's a, you know, gigantic storm that comes through and I don't want to come home and shit be blown up, because I just have this nightmare that's going to happen. But it is fun. It is definitely a little bit intimidating, especially when you drop your first CPU. I remember my first CPU on that motherboard. I was scared. I'm like, oh my God, it looks so easy on YouTube. But shout out to everybody on YouTube that puts that stuff out and that helps people, because it does help. Well, I mean, I just want them to know it does. I've emailed like Linus with Tech Tip. I think it's called Tech Talk or Tech Tip. I've emailed him personally and gave him a big shout out, because I've watched a lot of his stuff. So, but yeah, so we'll keep it moving. I appreciate you sharing that story, by the way. Y'all hit that like button and give us a shout out to J Dub. Y'all, you got to hit J Dub's PayPal, because the man ran out of ink yesterday. Ran out of ink. You know, he was sitting up there, his phone was ringing, and pager was still going off, and you know, the friggin' everything was going crazy. You know, so I'm sure it was yesterday. So,
it was a crazy day yesterday. It was
a crazy day. Yeah. So let's talk about let me talk about the 8K thing here. Well, first things first. I saw you're getting your 8K TV. You said in May. What
Z9G.
The Z9G that you said that you ordered, you saw it at CES, and bam, you know, they had you, like you said. So what are you expecting from it that you're not getting? What's some of the big differences that you're expecting to see versus your the 4K TVs you got now?
Well, obviously, it's a bigger size. It comes in a bigger size, an 85-inch. Right now, I currently have a 65-inch OLED from LG. And I'm just looking to see that extra fidelity. I know there's no 8K, you know, videos and stuff like that, you know, that can come through. And I understand that, but, you know, content. But here's the thing, right? So I do a lot of photography as well. So I'm in the Sony ecosystem. You know, I have the Sony A7R3, the AR2. So I'm thoroughly invested in that. And so when I take a lot of photos and stuff, that resolution there is really good to show on my television.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
And stuff like that. So plus the upscaling, you know, even if it's 4K content, it's going to upscale to 8K. So seeing that additional rendering and processing of the additional pixels that's coming in, it's going to be enough to make a difference. So I just, you know, it's again more so for me. I want to be thoroughly prepped and ready for the next generation.
Yeah,
I did this when the Pro came out. I didn't have a 4K TV before the gaming has thoroughly pushed me forward in the console realm. As far as in the technology, pushing me forward, getting me. And I think a lot of people this generation has only got adopted a 4K TV because of these video games. If it wasn't that, they would have kept their regular television. Yeah. So in preparation for the PS-5 and the Xbox 2 or whatever it's going to be called, I want to be prepped and ready for that as well. So, why not?
Right. Now with 8K, are they the signal coming from? So do you think the PS-5, we'll talk about the specs now, the PS-5 8K, because that seems to be what I'm seeing on at least Twitter, that the Xbox community, what's left of it, is really just going ham on. Like, they can't believe it. So do you think it will be natively outputting at 8K all the time, and then it will just, if you don't have an 8K TV, because you still may have a 1080p TV, because most people do. Yeah. So do you think that you'll just you'll have your 8K output, so you'll see 8K all the time, or do you think it will just upscale to 8K? Basically, it'll output. If you have a 4K TV, it's going to output that signal and then push it up to 8K.
Well, it's going to have HDMI 2.1, which supports the full bandwidth of 8K. So it's 8K at 60 frames a second. So it's not a limitation of the actual cables or the actual port on the PlayStation 5. What do you have? I don't think that there's going to be any native 8K content, but I do think that we're going to get the checkerboarded version, just like we got the checkerboarded version on the Pro. And I keep telling people that, like, I don't understand this. There's such a negative connotation when people say 8K and stuff like that. There was the same thing this generation with 4K. People are like, oh, 4K is not going to do 4K because it's doing this and doing that. And guess what? Sony and both Microsoft decided to implement different techniques to be able to reach 4K in instances where they weren't able to.
Yeah.
So what makes us think that they're not going to do the same? How is that far-fetched? Nobody is saying that you're going to be able to do 8K native. Nobody's saying that. But the mere fact that they're able to get their games to look the way they look with 1.8 T flops, why can't they do it with 10 to 12 to 13 to 14 T flops? I don't understand that logic, Craig. But at the end of the day, at CES this January,
correct,
Sony was advertising the Z9G and some of their other LEDs and OLED and their big screen TVs, and they had GT Sport running at 8K, 120 frames per second. And people kept asking what type of hardware were they using, and they didn't want to say at the time, and now we know that it was the dev kit of the PS5. And people jaws were dropped and stuff at the clarity and the resolution and stuff like that. So I don't understand this. People have been doubting Mark Cerny and some of the other people in the industry for so long, and when they come out with techniques to be able to do this stuff, people have to eat crow. Now, again, I get it. It's not the power of 4 Titans or anything like that, but with software and with the knowledge and the skills and the trade and the artwork, you can do some amazing things. Just look at God of War, Detroit Become Human, Ghost of Tsushima, and The Last of Us. I remember when those games were demoed and they were showed, folks were saying it was CGI and no way it could be done on the PS4. And it was, it wasn't, it was on the next gen console and stuff like that. And then it comes out on your regular PS4 and then your jaws drop. And then you have to grow. So how about we just wait? They said it was going to be able to do 8K gaming. Let's figure out what that means. Whether it's native or whether it's not. I don't know. Maybe they know something we don't know. But us sitting around being armchair developers, mocking these guys for their words. I mean, I get it. In the case of Microsoft, the 4K 60 uncompromised, I get why there's some hesitation on that because they've been told some things before that didn't pan out.
Well, what did you think? Not to interrupt you. What did you think of that article? I think you came on before where Microsoft came out in February.
Yeah,
and they said that that true 4K now encompasses checkerboarding and dynamic 4K. Just, I think that was, I always said, man, that was those guys going to the strip club and then their shorts getting blown up.
Exactly.
Because they had to finally just say, okay, look, they're all doing the checkerboarding technique. So is this the TV? Is this what your TV's looking like?
Yes, that's it.
Okay.
That's
all right.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I went through one of my distributors or whatever, and I had my pre-order in January.
Yeah.
With him, and he said he gets his first lot on May the 9th. So mine should be delivered that same day.
Right.
So we'll see. I'll try to do an unboxing and all that stuff. And
yeah, appreciate that. Now, when do you think we'll see the TVs like at our local electronics store, the Best Buys? And do you think they'll demo them here shortly because we're coming up on that?
I think maybe around the August time frame, Craig, when you're going to start seeing. Remember, TVs don't become mainstream until they shrink the size down.
True.
Once they shrink the size, that means the price shrinks down.
Yes.
And stuff like that. So you guys got to understand, not everybody's going to spend, $8,000, $9,000 on an 85-inch TV. Especially for something that is going to take a while to be able to get the full gratification out of it. But I'm always try to be ahead of technology, trying to be ahead of the curve and see what's there. And again, I'm that person where once you let me know a new console is coming, I practically don't want to play the current console. I'm ready for that newness to come, and I'm very excited of next generation getting here. And I do live to be outside the store and fellowship with the fellow gamers. Outside of Best Buy, outside of GameStop, waiting to pick up the consoles and stuff. The same thing. I did the same thing with the X. I did it with the Pro, and hopefully I'll be able to scoop up some PS5s and try to give them away and make some people happy and enjoy some game and keep pushing this stuff forward.
Yeah, now let me take you back to just real quick. The Xbox One sad with them sacrificing the 4K Blu-ray player. This is just something that J-Dub was just talking about. Gran Turismo Sports showing, and this is what, remember, it was fake news and we didn't. It can't run like this. Well, you kind of got what I call sideways confirmation that this was running. So,
Greg, I remember when this first happened. I think we had a show. I think we did a porch light or something like that.
Yep.
We talked about this, and the guys didn't want to hear it. Oh, it's GT Sport, yada yada yada. They didn't want to hear it. Well, now they're hearing it loud and clear, right? Just as that was Sony was demoing what the PS5 could handle and do, and we shall see. The proof is in the pudding. I'm not going to say that the PS5 is going to be the end all be all, but what I'm going to say is based on those specs that they themselves have come out. So it's no longer a rumor. Mark Cerny and Sony themselves have come out to acknowledge some of the specs.
Yes,
and this stuff is supposed to be, 20 times more powerful than the PS4. So think what they can do, what they have been able to accomplish with 1.8 T-flops with the regular old Jaguar CPUs and think about what they've been able to do, Craig. It's almost impossible to think the stuff that they've done with such a weak hardware. Now think about how powerful this new hardware coming up with the new SSD drives that are coming out that are not even available for PC at the moment. So, and these are Mark Cerny's words, not mine. So don't bash Kratos for just speaking what that guy said. It's up to them to deliver. If they don't deliver, then they're going to get bashed just like Microsoft gets bashed. So, I mean, you guys know.
Don't at us. That's what J-Dub's been putting on Twitter. Don't at me.
Don't at me. at that source, So,
all right, but check it out. That was a nice segue. This is for the people. Shout out to the people in the chat. Get your questions ready. J-Dub's here from the M.P.P podcast. He's all about that life. I heard you all. Shout out to Zaire and the rest of those guys and support. Brothers got to support brothers. Support Black media. Shout out to Zaire and all those cats. Do you feel yesterday when I was listening to Jabba the Hada himself, D-Batch? Do you feel there's a sense of what's the word I'm looking for? Resignation. Do you feel there's a sense of resignation?
Yes.
That this thing is done. That this is shout out everybody. Go check out Next Gen show he did yesterday. J Dub was on there, D Batch was on there, a couple other gentlemen stopped by. Big Post Up, shout out to Post Up, and he may have swam off the flat earth for all we know at this point. But shout out to Post Up. A couple other brothers was over there too. But what do you think? Do you feel there's a resignation in the air? Kind of, what do you think about that?
I think it's over, Craig. We've been calling it over for years.
Correct.
But I think yesterday put the nail in the coffin for a lot of guys. Last generation, Sony messed up so bad in the first 2 to 3 years. But they had that will and drive to fight to try to get back the gamers' confidence, and they were able to do that.
Yeah.
But it's 6 years now. We're 6 years in, and Microsoft has yet been able to do that, and they've given up all their games to other platforms and other media. Mm-hmm. So I think that is that's what people giving up. Now, when they came out with the PS5 specs yesterday, remember yesterday was supposed to be Microsoft's day. That was their inside Xbox day, and people were hyped for that to get some more upcoming news about E3. And first thing in the morning, I think it was 7 a.m., we got a tweet from Yoshida saying today will be a very good day with the smiley face.
Really? I did not see that. Okay, so 8 a.m. Eastern?
I saw it around 8 a.m. Central Time.
Okay, now, 7. All right, so you said 7 or 8 a.m. Okay, I got you. All right, I got you. Go ahead.
That would be 7. Yeah, so looking at it that way, I'm wondering what is he talking about? And about 30 minutes later, that's when the shit hit the fan. The AMD CEO came out and said that they're glad to expand their personal relationship with Sony in partnering and creating the PlayStation 5, and they got new custom chips coming, the latest 3rd generation processors and GPUs to come out, and that's when the shit hit the fan. And then the Push Square and some of the other people, I think Wired was the first one to break that interview, showing the specs and the interview with Mark Cerny, detailing a lot of the stuff that's coming. And I think that kind of put the nail in the coffin. It showed you that Sony can control any and every conversation. And they were, and thinking about it now, a lot of people were mad that they're not going to show up at E3. But do you really have to show up at E3 when all they have to do is sprinkle a little nuggets of information out and shut the internet down?
Well, I mean, no, not according to the albino rhino, the big kahuna he was saying. He said that Sony came in and stole Microsoft's lunch yesterday. Now, what's up on the screen? I don't know if you can see the screen. Now, I just want to show people the difference here, because this is the main thing that I thought that kind of blew me away yesterday. A couple things. Yeah. This is an 8-core Ryzen CPU. Yeah. And if it says 16 MB, now is that the 16 like 16 threads, or would it be different? Yeah. Okay, but this is the first generation because of the 1, right?
Hold on, I can't. Let me click on your name so I can keep your information up. There we go. There we go. All right.
This is the 1700X.
Yeah. Now that's 16 megabytes. That's of L3 cache. That's the cache. So, all right, gotcha. The cache is extremely fast memory. Okay. That's memory that's faster than any memory that you got. Your cache.
So the Ryzen one that they confirmed yesterday was the 3000 series.
Okay, I don't know what series or whatever it was. I know it was the new
this one, 3rd generation, right?
Yeah, the 3rd generation. Yeah,
3000. Yeah. Hey, I'm telling you, I'm getting good. I know my Ryzen chips. It's blowing away. It's blowing away Intel.
Well, and and I do want to give a shout out to D-Batch, because as much as as much as he's been wrong, he did dictate this a long time ago, and and it hit true. So that shout out to him. He gets a W for that, and he deserves it. So I want to see some benchmarks. I want to go see. I'm hearing that this stuff is on par with the GTX, the RTX 2080.
But that's a GPU, right?
Yes, for the GPU. So you got the Navi, and then you got the Zen. The Zen 2. Is it the Zen? Yeah, it's the Zen 2.
Yeah, Zen 2.
And then
well, this is the CPU we're looking at.
Yes, yeah. So it gets really confusing, Craig, because the whole package together is an APU. So it has the GPU and the CPU.
Okay.
So you got the Zen 2, and then you got the 3rd generation Navi or something. It's all it gets confusing when you try to put them together and figure out what's going on. So that's I honestly I like Intel's and Nvidia's the way they do things a little bit better because it's a little bit less confusing. You go to the store, you see the different Ryzen numbers, and you have to go get online to figure out what does this have and what does that have. I like to keep my life simple, man.
I don't blame you. So the way I do it is this: anything with the 1, first generation. So then the 2, so the 2600 and 26, all that stuff is 2nd generation. So I guess I'm assuming, and hopefully Andrew Wilkins doesn't kill me for this. I'm assuming this will be starting at like 3,000, because it says AMD 3000 release date. So I assume you're going to walk into the store and it's going to say AMD 3000 CPU. That's what I'm assuming it's going to say. But you see this thing up here, guys, stay away from them. Just go get this right here. Just go get a Ryzen CPU.
Yeah.
So, and that helps my stock go up just a hair, just a little bit more. And I I'm trying to retire here. So, but yeah, it's due out mid 2019, and we're coming up on that. So, but here's the big one: the cost. That's the big daddy in the room. So, but yeah, so the third, 8 core, 16 thread. What exactly are we? Or is it? Did I say that right?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
You're right.
All right. So, what exactly compared to what's out now are we looking at as far as raw power? I know we haven't seen. We haven't seen the benchmarks.
Yeah,
but raw power. What do you think?
It's kind of hard to say, Craig, until we see those benchmarks, and that's why we'll be able to put it on NVIDIA, Intel's line, whether it's the 8700 series, whether it's the I think it's the 8450s, or whether it's it's 9900Ks. We don't know. Yeah. We don't know where that benchmark. But one thing we know, even if it's anywhere in the vicinity of an Intel CPU, that's 100 times better than the Jaguar CPU that we got from this current generation.
Yeah, I heard the Jaguar is bad.
Well, it's a mobile, power efficient CPU. Yeah. So, but it was old. It was already 3 years outdated when we bought the system. But that's probably why, right? Because think about it. This was the first generation that they moved from IBM /Cell processor architecture over to the x86 platform. So now they're on the PC level of processors. Now we can get a more accurate base of where it stands. So these specs inside of that we're getting for the PS5 would be a really nice PC rig if you were to build that. It would be really nice. You would be able to accomplish what you needed to accomplish. So now that it's put in that you take that and put it into a closed environment where the only object of the machine is to play games. Now the developers are able to harness that thing and crank out. So you haven't seen anything yet. And I know guys are still skeptical of 8K, and I'm not out here trying to be the 8K ambassador. I'm just telling people, yes, it sounds far-fetched. It does, because you're looking at it from this generation eyes. This generation has failed you when it comes to a lot of the 4K stuff. But again, look what kind of processor you had. You got the world's most powerful console right now, barely able to do 4K. It has a really nice GPU, but that CPU holds it back. So when you take that processor out and slap in a really nice, let's say, an i7 class processor, you eliminate all those bottlenecks, and now you can open it up and see what that thing can do. So, I understand, be skeptical, but also don't be out there saying no, because people are going to be screenshotting it. And just like they did with the Pro and everything else, they have to kind of eat crow.
Yeah. Well, it's because the Pro, now the Scorpio does do a little bit more. Let's give credit where credit is due, but it don't do a heck of a whole lot more. And that's what's frustrating, and that's why I feel a little bit vindicated here. Is that I've been saying for the last year and a half. And let me ask you this, and then I want to talk about what you think the GPU will do, because it's a 7nm Navi.
Yes.
But let me ask you this. Damn, I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, here it is. The way they introduced this with we didn't get everything. We didn't get the R8, the RAM, and we didn't get the bandwidth as far as a hard number. And we didn't get the GPU number. But do you think they took a page out of what Xbox did in 16 when they showed the Scorpio and they talking about the 6 T-flops and all this kind of stuff, just to put it out there? Because remember, after that happened, for the next 18 months, that's all the Xbox community talked about. And so now it's happening to them. And that's do you think there was just like a stroke of marketing genius, or what do you think?
It's kind of hard to say. I'm one of those people where I'll believe what you say until you prove it wrong, until I see you fail at it. And so far, Sony has kind of delivered on a lot of stuff that they said. Again, once the benchmarks come in, we will see.
Correct.
We will see. It's kind of hard for me to speculate on whether we're going to be right or wrong or not.
Right. Oh, correct. Yeah. We're just speculating right this time. Let's do one more speculatory thing, and we'll get into what they've actually confirmed. The GPU is supposed to be 7nm. What do you think, based on AMD? So I heard you guys talking yesterday.
Yes.
And you all were bringing in NVIDIA.
Yes.
So let's set NVIDIA to the side. All right. Compared to what AMD has now.
Yeah.
What kind of performance? We're just speculating here.
Yeah.
What kind of performance do you think we'll see compared to, say, the Vega 5, 6, or is it 64?
64 or the 56. Okay. I think we're going to see closer to the 64. You know what? Right now, the 64 I think is on par, close, according to D, and I'm going to take his reference because he's did the research more than I have.
Correct.
I think we're going to see Vega 64 type performance. Now that in a closed environment, with the trickery that Sony is able to do with their stuff, I think, man, we could be in for a rude awakening when it comes to performance. Now again, you're comparing it to the PS4 to that, and that is way more power than we would think we need. Now, when it comes to the T-flops, I think I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to say that this stuff is going to be anywhere between the 12 to 13 T-flop range.
That's what I've been told.
Yeah. Well, and when people because people they take the performance, they take what you say, right?
Yeah.
The GTX 1080 or the 2080 or whatever, and they try to say, oh, well, in the PC, this is how much this card costs. Well, you're looking at it wrong for two different reasons. For one, they're taking that type of performance and sticking it in a APU, and so that means a chip that has the CPU and the GPU built together on a little small piece of die.
Right.
So that cost is going to be shrunk a lot. Now, if you can get the same performance, then what's in an $800 card, $900 card? It is what it is. True. Now, just because PC gamers go out and spend $1,200, $1,300, $800 for a video card does not mean that they're going to take that exact same card and stick it inside of a PlayStation or Xbox. That's not how these things work, guys. That's not how it works.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you this. Are parts of Navi, based on what you know, because you're in the business, I'm not asking you to, predict anything. Are parts of Navi based on Vega architecture, or does it have some Vega architecture in it that's just improved? So, like, you got a motorcycle and it's saying 700 cc's, and it goes 0 to 60 in 4.8 seconds. You take the same bike and then you modify it. Yeah. And you get the same it's the same engine, but now you streamline it and you still get 0 to 60, but now you can get there in in a faster time. Is that what they're doing, or did they totally scrap Vega to say the hell with it and go ground up with? I'm just talking about the overall Navi architecture.
From what I hear, it's a brand new architecture.
Okay.
So I think the Vega 64 line is the last of its kind, and the Navi is going to be for the generations going forward. And this what took it so long to come out. Remember, we've been talking about Navi now for the last 2 years.
Correct. Yeah, it seems like
we've been doing on these podcasts. Is Patch has been predicting Navi in every console for the last 4 or 5 years.
So. Yeah, since the PlayStation 2. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding around. No. I'm just fucking around. So I'm being a true fuck nigga right there.
To be fair, he was accurate. He was just he didn't wait long enough to finally to see it come into fruition, but he had the same predictions for the Xbox One X.
Right. Yeah, I do remember that. He swore up and down it was going to be the Ryzen CPU. So I do remember that. Now, because here's the all right, now the performance. This is what I try to tell people. Now, here is the raw performance of this card. Now, with Rapid Pack Math deploy, guys, it gets that kind of performance. And that's where it says, and I had to learn this. So the FP16 half performance. So they're going to deploy that differently. They'll deploy that in a game differently. But this is the Vega 64 card. It's 8 megabytes. It's 12. That's why when we both said in between 12 to 13, this is why when Luwafa said, I saw 3 games running. Now, 2 have been confirmed. One was Gran Turismo. Remember, I said he saw 2 first-party games, and he saw 1 third-party game. The third-party game was Spider-Man. Okay, because it's now, even though you're gonna say, well, that's a Sony first-party game, but it's a third-party studio.
Yeah, that's not their. They don't own that studio, so that would. You're right. Yeah. It's a third-party relationship.
Yeah, and it's a good one. They're having a good one. A lot of people say they should buy Insomniac, blah, blah, blah. I don't think so. I prefer to see them get Remedy and Platinum, but that's my and Supermassive. Those are the 3 studios I would hope they look into. But as far as the performance, so if you guys want to go ahead and just check out the way this is performing, a raw performance with different kind of CPUs, of course, then you need to go ahead and check that out. And that's roughly what you're going to see, except this is a different, it's an APU, like J-Dub is saying. So it'll be an APU. It will be, it'll be faster because it's a new architecture and it's built specifically for the console. Let me ask you something else, J-Dub, because this had come out. Is Navi proprietary to Sony? Did Sony actually help fund Navi, or because there's some people saying that Navi is only going to be the PlayStation. So can we crush that rumor that the Navi will also be in the Xbox as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
No. So Navi, AMD engineers worked with Sony engineers to create the technology that's going to go into this particular Navi custom chip specifically for a PlayStation. That means the chip that is in the PS5 will not be in the Xbox One or Xbox 2 or whatever. It's not going to be there.
Whoa!
Yeah. No. Wait. Let me. Okay. So
no.
That's saying that specific chip is not going to be in anything else. Okay. But the technology and the name Navi is owned by AMD. That's an AMD's IP. That's their lineup of chips, whether it's on your desktop or whether it's in another system. But the exact configuration and exact technology that goes into customizing that chip is proprietary to Sony.
Okay. All right, I got you.
Yeah. So I want to clarify that. I don't want people going. I said, Kratos said, Navi.
Here's the thing that I've learned. Just because something is one way on Monday doesn't mean that's going to be what it is on Thursday. I mean, the shit changes. I mean, we're talking about like raw performance. So shout out to Luwafa, he nailed it.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I had wanted to talk to you, J-Dub, because, and shout out to Foxy Games UK, because he just uploaded a video that said it was going to be in between the Vega 64, I'm sorry, 56 and 64. Again, that's what, shout out to Guad, that's what he told me, and that's what I put into my description at one day. So if you don't understand that, I don't know what you say. There's a giant frog over there in that field that you can kiss, and I hope you don't get no wart, you know, on the side of your face. You know, so this is, and it may be better. Let me make this clear. It may do a little bit more because it's specifically built ground up. Now, do you think that and if this just, we're speculating, do you think that the new Xbox will have any Navi architecture in it, or do you think they stick with Vega?
I don't know. It depends on what their timeline is.
Okay.
I thoroughly believe that the PS5 will come out before the next Xbox.
Yeah.
You can only say that because the X has only been out for a year.
Yeah.
So they would definitely want to get another year, 2 years out of it. Right now, with them going with the whole xCloud stuff and putting all their games on any and every platform, I don't think that there's a rush for them to bring out any more hardware. I don't think they've gotten their sales out of what they currently have. I mean, the install base is only in between 36 million to 40 million, so it seemed like a lot of money that was wasted on the X or something else, you know, or the Xbox One, if that was the case. So
yeah.
So, and I do believe that Sony would definitely want to get out there first. Last generation, they was last, not, you know, to get out, you know, from the PS3 era, and they saw what that happened. The first person to get out is the first person to get that momentum, to get that mind share, because everybody wants the latest and greatest, and they want it now. They don't want to wait, and so it's going to be funny to see how all this stuff shakes out, man. It really is.
That's true. All right, now we'll go to what they confirmed: the solid state drive. Now, what did they mean by more powerful than any other solid state drive on the market? So what is the most powerful solid state drive then? Because remember, the thing they did with Spider-Man, that was a low-end build. That, according to the article, it's a low-end build. Yeah. So what is the most powerful solid state drive?
Well, we got different manufacturers of the SSDs, but what I'd say is, based on today's memory that they have for the NVMe and NVEs and the regular SSD drives that you have, whatever's going to the PS5 will be far superior and faster. The throughput and the speeds, the read and write speeds will be faster than whatever we have on the market now. And that's a bold statement. That means they have some custom proprietary stuff going on with the PS5 that nobody knows about. And it's probably only going to be inside of the PS5. That's why you can't sit there and try to deny what they're saying, because you haven't seen what it is. People always go and try to compare it to a PC. And while I understand PCs on the market, you can try to compare it to those components. But Sony and Microsoft has the ability to create their own technology and put their own stuff in there that can speed stuff up or slow it down. So whereas this generation, we had the OG Xbox One with the ES RAM and all that stuff in there that was currently not used on the market in the PC sector, you know, for various reasons. So, you know, again, I want to see some benchmarks. I want to see what type of speeds. I do think that they're going to hold an event probably middle to the last part of this year that will go more in depth on what we can expect. So it's gonna be pretty crazy, man. It's gonna be pretty crazy. Now keep in mind, this speed they're claiming, right? The speed that right now in your PS4, PS4 Pro, when it's loading scenes, it takes about 15 seconds.
Correct.
Well, with this new SSD, it takes 0.8 seconds. So that's less than a second of speed for things to load. Can you imagine getting rid of load time in games now? That's crazy. That's directly attributed to your experience as a gamer. That's not marketing fluff. That's tangible benchmark. That's saying when you guys boot up a game like Horizon Zero Dawn 2 or God of War 2 or Spider-Man 2 or whatever. You're inside the game. You're ready to play. No more of that sitting there waiting, twiddling your thumbs.
Wow. Well, I mean that would surprise me because I playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey. There's a load time, and I would just love for this to go right there. Kind of takes you out of the game. Plus, there was a puzzle. This for everybody to know. There was some puzzle on some island with some mirrors, and you bet your corny ass I went right to YouTube and I cheated because there ain't no way in hell I'm gonna spend time moving shit around to find out the combination to a door. But you all know what I'm all about. I am not doing it. Ain't gonna happen. All right. So we'll talk about the ray tracing, which I thought ray tracing was. And again, this has been confirmed. I thought ray tracing was proprietary to NVIDIA. So, and that AMD has Radeon rays. So, is that the exact same thing? Is it just a different technique to do the same thing, or what are we expecting? You expect high end ray tracing, low end? What do you think? I think it's gonna be low end.
Well, we don't know until we see it. But here's the thing, right? Anytime you have a closed environment, you can make something that is not as big on the PC or not as big on the console, much bigger. This is why the impact of changes in hardware is much larger on a console than it is on the PC. Okay. So when you go through a major change like that on a system that is only designed for gaming, you're going to see way better performance and way better benchmarks and firsthand experience than you would on a PC. If you upgraded the graphics card in your PC, the best you're going to do is create some better frames, right? You're not going to be sitting there saying, "Man, my PC is snappy." You don't get that kind of experience when you upgrade from a 1080 Ti to a 2080 Ti. The best you could say is, okay, I got about 8 more frames per second, 10 more frames per second. But that wow factor directly is attributed to the hardware advancement. When I remember when guys got their Xbox One X's, if they were playing on the OG Xbox One or the Xbox One S, their jaws were floored.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
because that was a big jump because that experience was huge. But because the PlayStation was optimized so well and the games looked so good on the Slim, it wasn't as drastic when you went to the Pro because they did it right the first time.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I agree with you. I know, no argument for me on that one.
But ray tracing,
but I love ray tracing. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Back to ray tracing. That's the manipulation of light. So that's the light that you can use. Plus, here's the thing about it. It's in real time. So it's real time ray tracing. So that means when you're driving, let's say Gran Turismo, and you go under a bridge, the light that's reflecting off your car is going to act exactly how it would in real life based on the shadows and what's
so the light should break.
Yes. That's correct.
Wow.
You get the accurate shadows and stuff like that. Now, if anybody who has the RTX cars or even the GTX cars now, and you have the latest update, if you're playing Battlefield 5 or Metro Exodus or Tomb Raider, you'll see those ray tracing effects if you have them turned on. And it's a really big deal to me on PC. I like it. I enjoy the reflections in the water and off the planes and the guns and stuff like that when I'm playing Battlefield 5.
Wow.
So I think it could be a much bigger deal because think about it. When you have the talent like a Naughty Dog or Guerrilla Games or Sony Santa Monica or whatever, I mean, all of those different developers, think how they can utilize this stuff.
It's unfair. The actress that went in, I guess she saw some of Horizon Zero Dawn, like early builds, and she said it dropped her jaw. Yeah. I think she was a Star Wars actress. So,
I think she's gonna be in the game. So
and that's phenomenal. I mean, she said she couldn't believe what they're able to do.
Yes.
That's what she said. She said, I didn't realize
she saw, Craig, was most likely the PS-5 version of that game.
Yeah, well, I'm ready. I mean, that's all I can say. Let's see. Ray tracing. I'm gonna bring up it's already here. Battlefield 5 turned on. So shout out to NVIDIA. But yeah, you're right. Here it is. There it is. So yeah, but I'm excited for it. But if it's real time, that's what I'm really looking forward to. Is it being real time? you know, versus it kind of being pre-rendered or something like that. So that's what I was afraid.
Who knows? Who knows, Craig? It could be a combination of both. We don't know. But you know, as gamers, I get it.
Yeah.
You see somebody that spent $1,200 on a video card, and then you see some PC guys that spend $300 on a whole system, $400 on a whole system, get the same kind of treatment. You're gonna feel some type of way and have, you know, some doubts and feel insecure. I would too.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of insecurity on that Twitter, on those timelines. I mean, they need to do something. They go do something, go stick their feet in the water, or what the hell's going on with them? All right, so real quick, and so closing it out, the 3D sound versus Atmos. Now, this is let me go a little medical here. All 3D sound is, folks, is the way sound is interpreted naturally, not artificially. When you put on a headset, and you know, like if you were playing Hellblade. Some of that was a lot of there was sound going on, but it wasn't it wasn't full 3D sound, but it was close, because that's why they were able to get it to only activate in one ear, you know, and things like that, versus Atmos, which that's total sound. That's like theater. Matter of fact, that is theater sound. I've said before, if you sit in an Atmos theater, it's hard to go back to just a regular theater, you know, because of the sound qualities. But this is just 3D sound. That's the way you hear naturally. Your mind, your ear picks up sound in 3D, and then it forms a wave that your brain interprets. So that's sound is amazing. One of the most amazing senses that you have once you learn about it. It blew me away. But what do you think about the 3D sound, Jada? Because I know you have Atmos. You have it at your house?
I do. I have Dolby Atmos at home. Yeah.
Okay. So what are some of the things you would be looking for, and maybe some differences, or maybe not too much difference at all? What do you think?
Oh, we got to see. I do have the PSVR, and that does support the 3D audio sound that they have. And when I tell you, Craig, man, it is amazing. So any of you guys that have PSVR, when you put those earbuds in your ear and you hear some of those sounds coming from everywhere and you wonder where it's coming from, yes, they're able to do that with just that headset. So imagine the type of effects and stuff that they can do without the headset. So, you know, it's gonna be cool. And I wouldn't look at anybody to say Dolby versus 3D sound or anything like that. Is you're using those methods interchangeably. So Dolby is a certification, and DTS is a certification. Those, when you see the Dolby certifications, the THX, so those are different certifications that verify that particular product and that particular movie or that particular sound is mastered in the right format that it was when it was in the theater. That is why you have these things. So that means, you know, just because you have some Dolby speakers or some Atmos speakers, you have to have everything Dolby Atmos enabled. You have to have the right movie. You have to have the right soundtrack. You have to have the right receiver. You know, all of that stuff has to play in line. I know a lot of guys go out there and just use their regular headsets, and just because your Xbox says Dolby Atmos is enabled, you're not getting Dolby Atmos. And I know it's kind of a marketing term for a lot of people. It's artificial. The Xbox One does not process Dolby. It allows a pass through. That means if you have a Dolby receiver surround sound, it'll pass that signal onto it.
Right.
So it'll allow it to flow through. It doesn't actually create it. So that's you know, that's what I want to say about that.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll save. Well, bro. I mean, that's pretty much all I had here. I was going to see if I had any questions here. So Conservier said we got the 4K TVs. Do we now get top-notch sound for our living rooms too? If you go buy it, I mean, that's all I can say. I mean, you could go get an Atmos set or a Skywalker SEDS set. But J-Dub's right. I mean, you walk into a theater and right before the movie starts, it will say DTS or THX. It'll say stuff like that. Those are your sound certifications that you're going to hear in that type of sound. So let's see. Somebody thought about Crap Gamer. I guess that's a big deal. Since Crap Gamer got assigned a contract with his bleed green blood. Once on contract, it turns blue for forever. Oh my God.
I got him signed up, so we don't have to worry about him jumping shit back.
Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. That's all I can say. You guys should go listen to that podcast he did. I mean, he was just ripping into Xbox. I mean, so
hey, that was hilarious.
It is what it is. Yeah, somebody said now. Look, I have 5.1 headphones, and they are trash compared to what I got now.
Yeah, that's simulated.
Yeah. And they were Sony, and I was all excited, and I was like, "Man, this is right."
Now some stuff is good, Craig. Like you got Bose, right? They take those small speakers and they push out some big sound out of them. You wonder how they get it done. Well, they have techniques and tricks to be able to get that done. They have good circuitry and stuff like that. So we'll see.
Yeah, true. Somebody said, Spartan guy said, remember when the L-Box fanboys claimed the Xbox X hard drive was 7,200 RPM? I never knew that, but yeah, I don't think it goes that fast.
Yeah.
Gaminator, they do have a IGN posted the what Mark Cerny said about Spider-Man based on what he said on how it processed, and it was instant. You know, it was pretty much they went to the screen and the Spider-Man had already started swinging and he was halfway through by the time the other version had popped up. That hasn't been confirmed by Sony. It was just something that they did. So, yeah, the PSVR is Mark Cerny did not talk about PSVR yesterday, so just it is what it is. So yeah, but yeah, bro, man, that's pretty much all I had. What do you think after Days Gone, the next big game it gets released? You think it's going to be? I personally think it's going to be Death Stranding.
I think it's The Last of Us 2. Neil Druckmann teased yesterday. He just shot the last scene in that game, so effectively it's done. Now all they got to do is obviously do some debugging. And wrap it up and be done. I do think that this game is going to be cross-gen, so they may release it, if not at the end of the year, by March of next year, and it will make a great launch title. Man, I can't wait for this game. I mean, I almost don't want to play it on the Pro. I want to wait to play it on my PS5 and on my 8K TV to see how that. Man, it's a great time to be a gamer with Sony coming out with their new Master Series TVs, the new audio they have coming out. Just the new everything. I mean, I do want this generation coming up to be a step above of what we have now. So this generation was already, to me, is one of the best in gaming ever, with all the games and the hits that we've received this generation from the Sony side, at least. You know, VR, and now knowing that your current VR will be able to transfer over to your PS5 and stuff like that is just, man, it's great. It's a great time to be a gamer.
Yeah. Yeah. No question. No. Yeah. I couldn't have said it better myself. I never thought I'd see this day. You know, so when I came from the Atari 2600, we were playing Combat, and the tank was just a little block. It shot a block at the other tank.
Garuda, just so you guys know, yes, let's get the whole Crap Gamer thing out of the way. I signed him yesterday to a Pony contract. He signed it. He returned it back to me. He's officially Team Pony. So guys, go out there. He's unblocking everybody that he's ever blocked. That was part of the deal. So yes, if you guys talk bad about him and you're a Pony, go ahead and make amends with that man. He's seen the light. Sometimes it takes years for people to see the light. There's going to be others that come and see the light and realize that E3 will be a Inside Xbox Plus, and they will be showing you games that you will be playing on your PS4 and PS5. So
yeah, and PC.
And PC. So shout out to Phil Spencer for looking out for the little guys.
But somebody said that Matt's gaming is tripping because of I just saw that. Well, I saw he put a video up, something about the 8.4 and the 8K. Okay, well, 8.4 was when they deployed the rapid pack mass sequencing within the Vega chip. That's all that was. I mean, it's
now keep in mind, Craig, there are games that benefit that.
Yes.
F1 2018 and F1 2017 used Rapid Pack Math, and they were able to obtain a native 4K 60 in that game. So yes, they use that in that game. And Rapid Pack Math, it does work. It depends on what you're trying to do, what type of game you're trying. It depends on what you're trying to accomplish. So don't write it off. It wasn't supposed to make every game be 4K 60. It's just another technique developer can choose to use to be able to do that. Now another one was by Cyrus Great. Yeah. He said, as Kratos, since Cerny just boasted the PS5 would be future-proof to support 8K graphics, is 16 gigabytes of VRAM still enough, or do you think it's needed more like 24 gigs? Well, we don't know how many gigs of RAM is going to be in the PS5, but yes, 16 gigabytes is more than enough to be able to do that. Again, I mean, think about it. You're only going to push the amount of pixels that you need to for a certain scene. So it's not like 100% of the time you're going to have ultra textures, you're going to have everything full grid, just throwing the whole shebang. A lot of this stuff is checkerboarded, guys. So with checkerboarding and upscaling, it takes half of the performance that it would normally take to push that. Now you only need half of what it would take to do that. So this is why the PS4 Pro is able to do 4K 60 on some games, because they're able to use the checkerboard technique. They're able to do the upscaling. The Xbox One X does the exact same thing.
Yeah,
and that has 12 gigabytes of RAM. So hey, if you can do more with less, then hey, have at it.
Yeah, the Surge is saying that
I wouldn't get bogged down too much into the specs. I would just wait and see, wait and prove, because they told us that we were going to get 4K 60 on the X, and
we didn't.
Vapor chamber cooling, and they told us, the highest pixels, the finest pixels, the no uncompromised, and we saw compromising out the door with the first game, PUBG, running at 11 frames a second. So proof is in the pudding, guys. Take this stuff as a grain of salt until they show us.
Yeah, somebody, I think it was it Robert McLeod said, oh boy, he said, how does the Xbox Sad Edition fail before it's even released? LOL. Well, I mean, to me, if they were going to release that thing, it should have been minimum 2 terabyte. That way you could store, and in 3 months of maybe not 3 months, but 6 months of Game Pass and Live, and then sell it for $199. That's what I would have done. But yeah, Crap Gamer did say he was unblocking people. So somebody else asked a good question. Now I can't. It went so fast I can't see it. So was it the Surge? Okay, the Surge was talking about 1080p 60 and 4K. Well, shout out to Foxy Games UK. He said that he's been, he reported today that it's going to be able to do 2, 4, 6, and 8K. That's he did a video today. Go check him out. 2K for me is fine because I believe that's 1440p.
Yeah, that's 1440p.
Yeah, so that's fine. That's where I'll be playing all my games at, even though my TV will upscale it to 4K, which is fine. Yeah. But I want my native output to be 1440p. That's just for me where I see the most improvement, and at 60 FPS, maybe higher. So yeah. So then he also said that oh my good Greedy Legends, you're silly. Yeah, somebody, PUBG and Sea of Disease. Well, I guess those are 4K games, yeah. And the Surge is also saying if they're going with GDDR6, then 8 to 12 gigs of VRAM would suffice. Yeah, that I'd say definitely 10 minimum, I think is what you'll have. But we'll have to wait and see. So all the ponies ready to hit up Crap in his DMs. Well, the Xbox community people are quitting. If you go to the comment section of his stuff.
Hey Craig.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just sent you a tweet. Can you post that up live? Can we take a look at that?
Yeah, let me see if I can master this here.
Okay.
All right, so Twitter, is it just in my messages?
I DM'd it to you.
Okay.
I thought this would make for a good discussion, a good laugh.
Oh, okay, here we go.
Oh my God. Yeah. Hey, Hey guys, look at it. PS PlayStation 5 for the win.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've officially changed my name to AK Kratos.
I see that. Yeah. And then there's Halo Storm. He's even laughing.
And there's a lot of guys out there damage controlling the 8K, but these same guys was hyping up the 4K native 4K 60 uncompromised.
Yeah, you see this right here. Games will not be in 8K. And we already showed you the Gran Turismo was running at 8K.
Yeah, at 120 frames a second.
Yeah, at 120. Oh, yeah, that was a dev kit though, so it'll probably be at 60. It may be what if it's 120 on VR? I guess in theory it could be. I don't know if it'll be 4K though, but wow, that's funny. Look on his face. So, but nobody has 1440p up here. Boo. Yeah, see this is hurting them. This number here, I may change mine to 4320. But you all can see the 8K. They basically take the 7680. They just round it up to 8. That's what they do. Same here at 4K. It's not truly. I mean, because true 4K, I should say that real 4K is at the movie theater. It's 4096p. Mm-hmm. So, but consumer 4K is there. But that's funny as hell. Whoever did that gets the gets the FN award for the day. I mean, that is pretty damn funny. So
yeah.
Stop the blinking. Oh yeah, I don't know why it keeps blinking like that. So yeah, I need to learn how to quit that. So I'll fix it. I'll figure it out. You know me, I'll go on YouTube and I will cheat. But I got to put that behind the whole getting OBS to work. So yeah, there's actually 15K. I'm sure it's coming pretty soon. So yeah, but all right, man, J-Dub, man, we don't have anything else, man. We can wrap it up.
I just want to tell everybody that again, Sony has proven why they're the masters of their craft, and they've been in the game for so long. And anytime the world's most brokest company that's selling buildings and about to go out of business is walking the dog with the world's richest company, that shows you something.
Facts.
Again, I can't wait for the PlayStation 5. I'm gonna skip on the next Xbox, Craig. I'm gonna,
really?
I got a PC, so I'll be able to play all my games there, and so we're good, man. Yeah, we're good, and I do hope that the next Xbox is more powerful than the PS5. I really do. That would eliminate a lot of excuses that we're seeing now that it was about power. Even though the Switch is outselling the X, and it's winning MPDs, for some reason, guys tend to think that it's about power. So I think we're going to get the same result next generation. I do think that Microsoft devalued the Xbox brand once it gave away its exclusives, and it's delivering hardware like the Xbox SAD at a higher price than its flagship. So I just don't get that. But hey, these guys are smarter than me. So,
well, yeah, and I agree. I just felt that if you're gonna, I mean, when you see articles about them wanting, I mean, publicly saying they want to put Game Pass and stuff like that on PlayStation and Nintendo, if they've talked about it, if they're going to come out publicly and say it, that means they've talked about it privately. I mean, you work in the business, they're not going to come out and say something that they don't talk to other people about.
Yeah.
So, but this is a funny picture. So, but yeah, but no, but the devaluing, I agree with. I was playing that Xbox X one day, and they're like, well, they're gonna put this game on PC, and they're gonna put that game on PC, and you can either buy Quantum Break on the Xbox X at this, or you can play it on PC. And I'm like, you know what, I'm done. Yeah. I'm done with it. So, I had my day on it. And it's definitely, and look, I prefer, if I want to play Mass Effect, I've said before, just get that on the Xbox because you got all the games there. You got all the games there. They save over. My PC don't do that. Okay, Mass Effect 1 does not save into Mass Effect 2. They never fixed it. So another thing EA takes an L on. But yeah, they never got that to work correctly.
Yeah.
So
one last thing, Craig.
Yeah.
This is me asking you a question.
Yeah, of course.
So as Sony has been the kings of creating the narrative and maintaining the talk about film and their product, what do you think they're going to do during E3 when Microsoft gets ready to talk about their stuff and the stuff that they got coming up? Do you think Sony will drop some of their megatons and their stuff?
Yeah.
Keep the conversation going on them?
Yeah, I think one of the big 3 or 4 that are left goes gold. I think either right before, don't be shocked if like The Last of Us or something like that gets announced and it goes gold. Because Microsoft was going June 9th.
Mm-hmm.
And just look at it like what happened yesterday. Same thing happens in that movie Shazam. Shazam was trending up. It was going to make like $80-something million on April 1st. It was trending up, which is April Fool's Day, and everybody was getting excited. And then at 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, they dropped that new Avengers trailer, and then they said tickets on sale now. Ever since then, you've not heard shit about Shazam. And I'm not here to say Shazam's a bad movie. It's not. People should go watch it. It's actually pretty fun. But when that happened, it's the same thing that's going to happen here. I think Sony announces something to trip Xbox up, because I do agree with Crap Gamer. Sony's not playing around at this point. They are coming for the proverbial neck snap, like Thanos did to Loki. So, so I think it's going to come down to that. And I want Microsoft to succeed. I did hear Musclebound Gamer, shout out to him. He said that he did not want Sony's success to come at Microsoft's expense. Yeah. I think that's what we're seeing, is that, and I never looked at it like that, but that's actually, when you take a step back, now it makes sense why people were saying Microsoft. Somebody was saying that in Crap Gamer's comment section the other day that Sony should be forced to go third party to make games for everybody. I mean, that's the way they really feel. Yeah, that's what they really feel.
Yes. Oh my God. Hey man, I'll tell you this, Craig, man. I thoroughly believe next generation we're gonna look back on these times and have some great times.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, man, you should see some of this shit they be saying. I mean, it's they ought to be forced to go third party because I shouldn't have to go out and buy. It's not about what. And the guy was literally arguing that exclusives. What he said, name something good about an exclusive, and I'm like, well, I said you can't go to McDonald's and get a Whopper. You can't go to Wendy's and get a Big Mac. It's exclusive to that chain. You need to go to that chain if you have a Big Mac attack, or a Whopper, And he was like, well, and then he went into some other thing, and then that's when he turned around and said, look, Sony should just be forced to do third party. And I said, well, that's the dig, isn't it? I said, so thank you for exposing yourself. This isn't about exclusives. This is about you wanting to play Sony's exclusives on your Xbox. Because they're not asking for Nintendo's exclusives, and Nintendo's exclusives score high. Yeah. They want. I'm telling you guys, look, I stand by this. Horizon Zero Dawn came out, and that was a back-breaking game. That game, because nothing Xbox has put out has come close to that as far as looks. They even argued Red Dead. I told somebody this morning, I said, why you keep bringing up Red Dead? That's not a Microsoft game. And it's not. It's a Rockstar game, So, but Spider-Man was the heartbreaker, because even though Sony owns that IP, they didn't know that. And number two, they thought Sony was going to put it out everywhere. And I think you said it, J-Dub the best, is that it sold 10 million copies. So it doesn't need to be a multi-plat.
Yep.
So yeah, somebody like Rudy Legend said he wants to get a Big Mac at Pizza Hut, and it's anti-consumer. Yeah, they think, and I think, and J-Dub, let me ask you this before we go here. Do you think it could be because these kids are waking up in the morning and they can get on their phone and go to Hulu or Netflix? They can do that on their tablet and take it anywhere, and or they can put it on their TV. and they think everything should be like that. Like they think the world should operate because that's convenient for them. Anything, and that's my opinion. I think it's generational. That's why I had to take like an L on it, because I'm like, look, this is generational. My generation was cutthroat. As Steve Jobs and Bill Gates did not like each other. Okay, so and they went, and I said, if I said, let's put it like this: Steve Jobs got fired from Apple because Microsoft had to invest, and they own like 30% of Apple, give or take. If it was all fun and games and happy-go-lucky and let's go blow bubbles and get hula hoops, Apple would have been happy about that because they stayed in business. So I want this generation to explain to me, not my generation, I want this new generation, the one that listens to mumble rap and black men in skinny jeans, you need to explain to me why they fired Steve Jobs. If that was such a great idea. If it's such a, because that's what happened.
That is true. They did fire him, and the company was finna ready to go under, and he decided to come back. Remember, after he left, he headed up the next project, which was called Next. And he did the stuff with the animation for the motion pictures, the cartoons and stuff. What was the name of that? I forgot what it was called.
It was like Buzz Lightyear, whoever.
Whoever
owns that. I forgot who owns that. But
so he did that, and that was very successful. And then they had him to come back, and he came back, and Apple has been different ever since. And it ended up being the world's, well, it still is the world's most powerful company, but the world's richest company. And that was directly to him. He did that. He brought us the iPhone, the iPod, and I get it. They weren't the first to create it, but Apple has always been the ones to make it marketable and mainstream.
Yeah, they've I agree with that 100%. I don't think Sony's anti-consumer. I just think that what's anti-consumer is Microsoft's paywall. That's anti-consumer, folks. Okay, what they do is they say, well, you don't have to have it. But I mean, my understanding of it was I couldn't even turn that Xbox on unless I had some type of service for it, But maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. But I had Live. I did get rid of Live, and I got Game Pass, and I kept Game Pass. You didn't need Live. Now they got let me ask you about that super service or the Premier service, the Xbox Live, and because this was announced yesterday, I think too, or maybe it was,
the Ultimate.
Yeah, Ultimate. Yeah, what do you think about that?
$15 a month for Xbox Live and Game Pass. Craig, I'm not a big fan of subscriptions because of multiple reasons. For one, I pay Netflix, I pay Hulu, I pay Sling, and now I'm going. I pay PSN, my PS Plus, and then my Xbox Live, and then EA Access, and then Origin. I'm going to end up with 50 different subscriptions that all equals $200 to $300 a month. Whereas I might as well should have just kept DirecTV, or I might as well should have did something else. So I don't know, man. They're going to have to give me more value than that. And now it wouldn't be so bad if they had games that I liked, but I'm a guy that buy games when they come out. So I don't wait a year or two to be able to play games. So I don't know, man. Again, I can play on the PC for free.
True, yeah. Now, I want to ask you that. So, if I go to the Xbox store and it says Xbox Live, I don't need that. I just click on it and I can start playing.
Yes, that's true.
Okay, I just want to make sure. So I said they pay Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, and Stars. Damn. Well, see, Prime and Netflix cancel each other out. At least Hulu has more TV shows. And I'm getting Disney this fall, so I'm going to get rid of Hulu because I'll be watching all that Disney stuff. I mean, all of the animation is going to be on there. I'm getting it all. I mean, I'm signing up ground level. That way I get the best price. So yeah. But all right, guys, we're going to get up out of here. Big shout out to J-Dub City of the Multiplayer Podcast. And are you on Beastfire now? Or is that?
I'm everywhere, man. It just depends on what day, what time, and
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I understand that. All right, man, bro. Well, thanks for jumping on here. I know it's a work day for you. So I had the day off. So yeah.
Anytime, man. You take it easy.
Yeah, you too, brother. All right, then, man.
Peace.
Peace. Yeah. Well, guys, we're gonna get out of here. Big shout out to J-Dub for coming on, breaking it down with us. And you all go ahead and follow him on Twitter. He gives away a lot of good, juicy stuff. Taking care of the business. J-Dub, go ahead and shout yourself out, man.
Everybody, it's been great as usual. It's your boy J-Dub, aka Kratos, the god of PlayStation and all things gaming. I am back with Craig, and it's been a good one, man. You guys stay tuned to Twitter. You guys can see me cracking up on Twitter at JDubCity16, keeping you guys laughing with the gifts and the memes. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, 8K Kratos, and I'm gonna change my name to like what is it, the 4,000 whatever pixel per egg. So I'll get on that 8K list one day, maybe 3 years from now, and Sony's got 10 games in 8K. I might be able to fire it up one good time. But definitely going to get a new VR because the new one they're working on is not supposed to have so many all that stuff. The cords they bother me when I'm playing. I can't put them behind my back or anything like that. So without pulling something out. But guys, we're gonna get out of here. Thanks for coming by. Big shout out to you, J-Dub City. And we out of here. Peace.